Hey, what's up? I've been wanting to put a dub or reading on my channel for a while now, but my mic's been kind of garbage, so I haven't really given it a shot. But I think I'm just gonna kind of roll with it and see what happens. So, for anyone watching this, welcome. And if you hear any sounds in the background, I apologize. Honey, whatever happens, just play dead, okay? No matter what. No! Cameron? Echoes aren't hard to find. They're everywhere. But some are worse than others, and Cameron knows which ones need taking care of the most. Evan! A flash of light when I've gotten used to seeing explodes behind my eyelids, along with an explosion of pain in my face and head. Evan! Shit! A dull, blunt thud resonates through my stomach, and a familiar ache seems to hollow it out completely, sending all the breath I've held inside blasting out in a wheezing groan. Then, the familiar thump of bone on pavement as my leg seems to turn to jelly and I go down on my knees, head bowed, gasping for breath. Next time you're dead, you fucking creep. Watch out! My paws folded under my stomach as I grip my gut just for the grip of my pistol strapped to my waist. Look up and see a scruffy-looking raccoon, and the mask of his facial fur barely visible in the soft yellow glow of the streetlights. He's got his foot drawn back and he's about ready to kick me again while I'm down. His buddy, a squat, muscular rat, probably the guy who hit me last, holds him back. I hear sirens, man. Let's go. The raccoon looks back down at me, almost like he thinks I'm the one that called the cops. He moves on, spitting on me as he goes. I lower my head even more as I hear them scurry off toward an area behind the warehouse they'd been beating me up against. Now I'm left alone in the patchily lit parking lot, the very faint sirens fading away into silence. Well, I'm physically alone. Are you okay, Devin? Cameron's voice comes through again, and I can tell he's trying to hold back from sounding panicked. I'm fine, babe. Don't worry. Just need a minute. I send him reassuring thoughts even while my face comes to rest on the rough gravel and asphalt of the lot, feeling myself drool into it. Cameron goes quiet after that, realizing there's not much he can do except wait. A few minutes later, I grunt and make my way to my feet before looking back one last time. The men had already left in their car, the sounds of the roaring engine fading into the night. The warehouse, though, sits still and silent, gently illuminated by the surrounding streetlights. From one of the top windows, I see it. Probably standing on the grated metal flooring, I see it watching me with its red, glowing eyes. The scruffy raccoon's punch got me good, right over the left eye. I can already feel it starting to swell close, and I head for the medicine cabinet. I swallow down 4 ibuprofen and a Tylenol for the throbbing ache that's already established itself firmly in my brain. You're gonna want to eat something with that, Dev. Cameron's feelings of gentle reproach are barely contained under the veil that he's trying to hide them under, and he finally blurts out his concern. He's right, though, and even though the hollow ache in my gut makes me not want to even think about food right now, I grab a piece of bread and force it down a few bites. Veal. Another term we've come up with to describe something we don't understand. In this case, it's just the sense of feeling we both get when hiding thoughts or feelings from the other. Like a mental shield, always up and rigid, but ready to come down if you let it. It sounds bad, but when someone's living in your head 24/7, you need some privacy, and so we automatically hide behind our veils most of the time. It's not like I'd prefer silence, though. Cameron's thought voice is quiet and gentle, but especially now that he's trying not to upset me, which he shouldn't have to be doing. I fucked up bad this time. Caught and got my ass kicked. I'd been staking that spot out for weeks, Cameron having noticed an echo in the upper windows of a random warehouse in the city's industrial park district. One that was, for whatever reason, really strong. From what I was able to gather, they were using it as a sort of something. Something definitely bad, because a few times I'd gotten close to the warehouse, I'd heard faint, distant screaming, gathered enough to know for sure it's not organized crime or gang related. Something much more strange and sinister, as it always is when it comes to echoes. I actually wasn't able to gather much except that the rat was the main source, and the one that needed to be dealt with somehow. But it matters now. After catching me, they'll definitely be moving their base of operations. The swelling is really bad, Devin. Maybe we should try putting some ice on it? The last sentence is posed as a question, again, apparently worried about how I react. Yeah, I know. I grab an ice bag, pack from the cabinet, and open the freezer before pouring several ice chunks in it. You know, I'm not mad, Cameron. You are. The tone of his voice says it all. I put the cold compress on my left eye, sighing loudly. Not at you. So why are you so upset? The entire situation and how stupid it is. And I can feel how you feel no matter how many barriers I put up. You rub off on me and I can't help it. Once my eyes close, think about all the times Cameron has described what it's like being stuck in my head, how when I get gloomy, so does everything around him. Something else to feel like a complete jackass about. Yeah, well, I can't always control how you feel, I know. But that's why I'm trying to hold off. Sorry. No, I mean, I huff loudly in frustration. Ugh, I honestly wish I could be happier for you so you're more comfortable living up there. It's silent. A few moments I wish weren't silent because I know what Cam's thinking about. It could be if you give up on this, whatever the hell this is. I feel a flash of annoyance, and this time it is directed at Cameron. This is helping other people not have to go through what we went through, Cameron. This is stopping years long cycles of pain and suffering. That's what the hell this is. Haven't we suffered enough? Maybe who else is in this position that can do what you can do? I'm not sure we're making much of a difference. We clearly don't know what the fuck we're doing, Dev. My heart sinks, realizing how much Cam might not actually want to do this. The one thing that's kept me going the past 4 years. You're the one that suggested this, you know. I say it in my head, the way I do in public, I just don't want to say it out loud. I know, but I didn't realize it would become so dangerous. That if things did get physical, we just move on. But I didn't realize you can't search for the right words. When you set your mind on something, it's hard to get you to change it. That's dangerous and stupid, and that fucking gun you have strapped to your hip all the time doesn't help. I need protection. Of course you do, but what if they saw it? What if you actually do have to pull it out? What then, Devin? I have to, Cameron. I looked at my phone. Arturo. Shit. Honey, maybe just ignore it for now. We need to talk. He'll understand. We planned this call ahead by like 3 days, so I can't just ignore it. But you can. He'll understand, honey. I've already made up my mind to pick up. He doesn't use pet names that much, but when he does, I know he's really concerned and upset. His quiet, meek objection almost makes me stop. But I have to. The almost physical pull of two people who are very important to me stretching me in opposite directions. Maybe sensing my rising frustration and stress, Cameron backs away in mind the way he does whenever I need privacy. It's another level to the veal barrier. The feeling is similar to what it would have felt like if he'd just left the room. I put the phone to my muzzle, wincing as it presses against my bruising face. Hey man, what's up? I quickly make a final aside to Cameron before Artie responds. After this, I promise we'll talk more. Cameron doesn't respond, but I know he hears me. Then Arturo's cheerful, slightly accented voice comes to the speaker. Yo, how's it going, man? I press my index and thumb pads of my right paw hard against my brows, trying to tame the ache that still seems to echo through my head. I'm doing okay, all things considered. Jesus Christ. Apparently he hasn't completely left the room. I ignore Cameron for now. Most of my focus is on trying to sound as okay as I just told Arturo I was. Well, those things aren't too terrible? You sound pretty awful. I can sense what he's implying with those words. It probably sounds like I've been crying with my swollen nose and raspy voice. 4 years removed from Echo, and he still knows that I'm struggling. Even Arturo seems to have moved on better than I have after taking a bullet to the back of his head. Sometimes I can't even tell it's happened. Sometimes I almost forget, but something always reminds me sooner or later. I know Artie never forgets. How could he? But I can't read minds like Cameron. No, not too bad. The silence that follows is an awkward one, which isn't normal when Artie's involved. The silence part, I mean. But it feels like he's wanting to say something to me that he's nervous about. Are you okay? Feel a jolt of worry and concern. Last Artie and I had talked, he mentioned that things were a bit strained between him and Maria, mainly because he was having a hard time trying to take care of her the way he used to. If they're gonna split up, I don't know what Arturo's gonna do. I'd offer for him to live here, of course, but that would make things difficult between me and Cameron for a ton of different reasons. Yeah, I'm okay, yeah. Do you need a place to stay? Arturo laughs, and the release of tension makes me feel a little bit better. No, me and Maria are doing alright now. It was just a few months ago that things got a bit hard since we were both going through our own shit at the time. Yeah, that sounds miserable. You just need someone to talk to right now? Yeah, that, but it's about me. I furrow my brows at that, wondering how Cameron would know that with Arturo being so far away. Maybe a vision or something. He's right, though, as he usually is. I've had some. His stuttering becomes more pronounced, which happens when he's flustered or emotional. I stand more upright, muffling the grunt that comes from my mouth as my sore stomach muscles tense up. Hey, dude, it's all good. Tell me what's on your mind, no matter what it is, okay? It seems to calm him down a bit, and he takes a deep breath. How are you doing uh, with being alone? A little hollow fake laugh falls flat. Yeah. Take a deep, full breath again, wincing at the dull ache in the center of my body. I'm managing. You ever thought of seeing people? Cameron's listening and he doesn't say anything. No, not yet. It's quiet for a while. I'm about to talk about how work's got me too busy to date right now. I hear something that makes me freeze. Something's been bothering me a lot lately. It's about calm, and I'm so sorry. And the worst is all going to sobs. Shit, shit. I feel a pang of frustration followed by even more guilt. In the past, I'd jump at opportunities like this to be there for people that might need me, but I'm just not as good as I used to be. Cameron, Arturo, my parents, my work colleagues, they can all tell. In fact, Mom was the last person to encourage me to start going out again, and saying the gay scene is better out in Fort Allen, and to maybe just come back home, which made me laugh and want to cry at the same time. Cameron's presence returned briefly. You're doing good, Devin. You know that. The speaker closer to my ear. Hey, dude, what's wrong? Through hitching sobs and stutters, Arturo talks about the last time he heard Cameron's voice, about how he heard him begging Brian not to do whatever it was he was doing. Sometimes I wonder if I had done something, he might have been able to get away or something. I was slow because of the gunshot wound, so maybe he could have. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is something I have heard about before, and in the back of my mind, I wonder why Arturo would tell me this. Feelings, smells, thoughts, tastes, everything from Echo comes back, reminding me of being trapped in that van while it was all happening, while Artie and Kim were being hurt in ways that could never be fixed or undone. I feel my heart rate rise, my breath becomes heavier as adrenaline starts coursing through my body. Cameron's still there for me, even though he made a point of leaving earlier, senses my confused mix of anger, grief, and guilt for feeling this way when Arturo is trying to open up to me. It's okay, it's over. I'm fine. Would have gotten us both killed if he tried anything. I just can't help feeling awful about it. That you lost the guy you were that close to. I swallow hard, mentally willing my voice to stay steady before I start talking again. Don't worry about me, Artie, and try not to blame yourself for any of that. I'm the one that asked you to come, remember? It shouldn't have ever happened in the first place, and I'm sorry. Artie laughed softly through his ears. That's word for word what I expected you to say. It's just, you seem distant lately, like the past year. We used to talk all the time. Artie goes on about how I used to be. I feel a surprising urge to just tell him about what's happening, about how Cameron is still with me, and no! The thought is strong, unwavering, and it overwhelms my mind to the point that I lose my train of thought. It's happened before, but not like this. It makes me wonder how strong his own thoughts actually are, if maybe he could completely take over if he wanted. Either way, I can't tell Artie after a message as powerful as that, so I settle for something more vague. Listen, man, all I can say is that something is going on, but I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. But I promise I'll tell you someday, alright? I'm surprised by how relieved Artie sounds to hear that. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Take your time, man, and sorry for unloading on you like that about what happened in that town. I won't bring it up again. I just needed. I don't know. I get it. And if you need to talk again, I'm here for you. Same. I was actually thinking maybe we could meet up again. Maybe we'd go off-roading or even try some rock crawling in your new Jeep. That makes me smile. That despite what happened to him, he's still want to do shit that we used to do. Shit that could get him killed. But if it makes him happy, we should. Maybe over the weekend? I feel a slight pang of jealousy, maybe even some resentment, and it takes me by complete surprise. Sweet. Might have to be the weekend after, since Maria and I have a date trip weekend thing going on. I'm confused and then shocked when I realize those feelings came from Cameron. It takes a good few seconds before I can get my thoughts straight again. Weekend after sounds good to me. We talk a little bit more, but Cameron's simmering irritation becomes too much to ignore, and after a while I make an excuse about needing to prepare dinner before hanging up. It's partially true, but I really only use the microwave these days. I can at least be happy knowing that Arturo is sounding way better than when we first started talking. Cameron stays silent as I actually do start making my food, an unappetizing plastic bowl of lightly seasoned frozen vegetables. I'm still baffled at Cam's strange reaction when I was on the phone with Artie, but I know to wait for him to gather his thoughts before trying to talk to him. I subtly project the feeling of me being tired, hoping it might make the coyote take some pity on me with whatever it is that's pissing him off. He's keeping it tightly guarded, though. As I open the packaging on the bowl, I think I hear something in the house, and my ears perk up for any sound, any movement. No one's here, Devin. Just being a little cautious is all. Nothing wrong with that. Not usually, but paranoia can drive anyone insane. I poke some holes in the plastic wrapped bento bowl before throwing it in the microwave and starting it. I don't have much of an appetite. My gut's still feeling queasy after getting beaten up. I gently feel around my face with a paw, finding where the swelling is most painful around my left eye. Gingerly, I apply the compress to it, a little surprised by how much it swelled up between the fight and getting here. You were talking on the phone for over half an hour. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Cameron. Now you're mad at me? No, because I'm just trying to fucking help. Well, it doesn't help when you're pissed off about something that you're hiding from me. I'm not pissed off. I'm stressed out and worried after what just happened to you. I'm fine. Getting hit in the head is never fine, Devin. Well, it is this time. Besides, I'm talking about what happened with Arturo just now. Cameron sighs mentally, loudly in my head. What? That I didn't want you to talk to him so you could start treating your injuries? I'm starting to realize he's not even gonna tell me what the problem is. No, about you getting mad after I considered telling Artie about our situation. Of course I got mad! The winds as Cameron's thought echoes in my head, making my headache throb even more. His next thoughts are less thunderous, under control, but still angry. Evan, I don't want people thinking you're crazy, and I especially don't want anyone knowing about what you do. You could get yourself arrested or killed. I wonder if he's mainly implying that I could get the both of us arrested or killed, which is of course worse. But I don't let myself get distracted. Something's not right. Artie believes in this stuff. I mean, not this situation exactly, but he's really spiritual and believes in psychics and mediums. This is very different. It's not that big of a leap. Besides, what if you used your clairvoyance to show Artie that at least some of what I'm saying is true? That could be a good starting point. And bringing Artie into this is only going to make things way more complicated than they already are. We can trust Artie. With that mouth of his, I bristle a bit as Cameron points out Artie's uncanny knack for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. He doesn't fuck around with serious shit like this. How is this even gonna help us? Like I said, it'll make things so much harder if even one person knows. I'm realizing where this conversation is going, and I try to keep my thoughts under control to keep them from wandering. Most of my thoughts are hidden from Cameron unless I intentionally project them out to him. But if they're strong enough, he picks up on them. This time, though, we both need to be on the same page, despite not having to read minds. It's lonely, alright? Just being able to talk to someone would make things. His next thoughts are sharp and short. You just need someone to talk to. Cameron isn't asking me, just making a deadpan statement. It almost hurts with how cold he's being. Even when he gets upset or huffy, there's still a warmness to him that always makes me feel like things are okay, but that's gone now. I try to remember if this has happened before. Cameron is always so nice and gentle after I've been through something rough like this, but this time, I keep these thoughts very quiet as I close my eyes in frustration, the aches in my body making things so much more agitating and distracting. Listen, Cam, if you're just jealous because I want to hang out and be closer. Jealous? I wince again. Please, Cameron, my head. I'm scared. I'm trying to look out for you because you won't even do that for yourself. Well, that's what it felt like. I felt it when Arturo was just talking about hanging out over the weekend. Fine. Maybe I felt a little jealous. But it kind of fucking hurts when you realize you're not enough for your boyfriend. He has to rely on some straight guy to make him feel good. What the hell? I'm angry, but also baffled at just how nasty he's being. This isn't like Cameron at all. At least I don't think so. This hasn't ever come up before. Well, that straight guy lost almost everything trying to save us. Besides, I'm not into him like that at all. And he's definitely not into me. You know that. And you'll be there the whole time. This conversation we're arguing about, it's also surreal. Since when did Cameron say stuff like this or even feel this way? Was this always the case? You're oversimplifying things, making me sound like a crazy obsessive boyfriend so you can justify doing things that are stupid and dangerous. Is it really that stupid and dangerous considering everything else I'm doing? I just need some fucking peace and quiet tonight, please. I think out that last part clear and loud in my mind and I immediately regret it. Fine. I'll give you space and you can do whatever you want. Bye, Devin. Oh, come on, Cam. I'm really tired and. The silence is immediately eerie. Must have gone far into the place he usually goes when he's angry, but right now I can't feel anything from him. I wait in silence for a while, then sigh in a way that makes it sound like I'm irritated, but it's mostly covering up the slowly simmering anxiety. I wonder how long it'll be before he decides to come back. No matter how much I try to pretend, though, I can't shake the feeling of deep emptiness. This is something I haven't felt in years, not since going into those mines back in Echo. Almost exactly 4 years ago. I'm alone. Wait, Cameron? Cameron, you there? The feeling of being completely alone in my head is something I haven't felt since just before I killed Brian. Cameron, can you let me know you're here at least? Just one sign and I'll leave you alone. My voice sounds hollow in the empty space. Cameron, you there? No response except the microwave. I try not to panic and instead grab a fork to pry out the bowl of mushy, unappetizing vegetables, the smell overwhelmed by garlic. This isn't funny at all, Cam. Actually, it's kind of fucked up and pretty cruel too because I didn't even do anything wrong. I wait a little while longer, knowing those words would definitely trigger Cam to come back, but when he doesn't, I finally do start to panic. After about 5 minutes, I drop the fork in the bowl and look up. Cameron, you're really scaring me right now. Can you at least let me know you're here somehow? Anything. Empty. Because Because I'm gonna start freaking out for real if you don't say something to me, baby. Silence. Silence seems to become tangible, blanketing me with a feeling of suffocation. Cammy, baby, please. Over the next 3 hours, I go from panic to anger to grief, back to panic, and then to anger and grief again. How could he do this to me right now? How could he? Well, if he doesn't want to be around me, then I'm going to do the stuff he doesn't like me doing. I pull out an old bottle of bourbon and I start drinking. If Cameron saw me doing this on a mostly empty stomach and after getting hit hard in the head, he would step in, no question. But he doesn't. After waiting for almost another hour, I head to bed drunker than I've been since probably back in college. I curl into a ball, hugging Cameron's pillow tightly, silently begging him to come back. It's then that I start to process the idea that he could actually be gone. Cameron never said he could just leave, and he's never done it before. Maybe he doesn't even know how to come back. Silent begging isn't enough, and I mumble my coyote's name into the pillow over and over, hoping that if he's here, he'll see how pathetic I look and come back. But he doesn't. Maybe, somehow, this isn't real, because none of this feels real. Maybe this feeling of disbelief and devastation that's been with me since Echo has all been a dream, and I'll wake up in 2020, back with Cameron in bed next to me. I'm lucky I'm so drunk because I don't know how I deal with this sober. For now, I just cry myself to sleep.